about your sale last weekend. Let's start Valley Mentality news. How did it go? I was
Uh,
out of town, obviously, but how did it go?
Wait 1 second. Sorry, I just got a text.
Oh,
Sorry. Uh, so Valley Mentality sale. Thanks for. First of all, we can't ignore what we were just talking about off camera, which you got engaged.
got engaged.
You legend. You. That's so
Sure,
amazing, man.
it happened. It happened.
Yep. So that's exciting. Now enough of that. No, yeah. It's so funny because you and I like don't really catch up about our personal lives that much.
It's
So
true.
it's like I don't know. You've been with Autumn like ever since I've known you guys. That's
Yeah,
so
dude, we met in college. She was like 19, so it's been a while.
you were 36.
Yeah, clearly.
Wait, you guys went to college together, Syracuse?
Yeah,
There we go. There we go.
it worked
Nice.
out because I knew I wanted to come to LA and she's from here. So
Amazing. I'm gonna respond to this.
mentality. Did you
Yes.
do what the fuck, bro?
Uh,
So for all you watching at home,
This is how you form a
answer
tech.
an email.
Yeah.
So did you do
Mm,
the bus thing again,
I
or
did.
what was the setup? Yeah, you got the same bus. Couple hours.
Yeah. Thanks for asking it. So, did the Valley Mentality pop up this past Sunday? It's kind of our way of getting into the Studio City Farmers Market, which is a very popular farmers market, and especially it's like our type of audience, I would think. Um, but we couldn't get into that because they said it's only food vendors at this point. And so we kind of sneakily rented a VW bus. This time it was a different, this is our second one, and it was like a 80s bus instead of 70s. And we parked it, got there super early, parked it right next to the market, basically. And first time we had pretty good sales, made about $500 back. And it costs like 150 to rent the bus. And sorry, I'm getting these texts.
Who's texting you? Now you got to share, bro. What,
Pickleball
what's
tomorrow.
so important? Pickleball.
Pickleball tomorrow. Yeah, it's setting up the schedule.
It's is this is like the leader of the tournament or what?
This is a private game and he's inviting. So I feel like, and the one thing he said is he just appreciates it when people get back to it quickly.
Are there celebs involved? Is it
Always.
always this is like a
Tom Cruise mean anything to you?
are you fucking kidding?
Meryl Streep?
Yeah. Yeah, Meryl Streep playing.
Elon Musk?
What a true.
Not quite that big, but just kidding. No, yeah, these are very cool people, so it's fun. And it's just public courts can be a real annoyance because there's so many people. So it's nice to get
Right.
these in. With
The
all that said and done, Valley Mentality. We dude, this time.
repping the gear. Is that a new? Oh yeah, I got that shirt, bro. That's part of your
Yeah,
new line.
I've seen you wear one of these. The vintage washed out black shirt that's the Van Nuys drive-in.
Yeah.
I love this shirt, man. I don't that's the thing about a shirt is you wear it one time and you don't wear it all that much, but
Right.
these are nicer shirts. Like I tend to wear them out and stuff, opposed to like in the gym or playing sports, but people like get such a kick out of them. Oh my gosh, getting the text again asking for you three. I'm so sorry.
So Duke
Uh,
has been obsessed with pickleball ever since the early days. He was there in the first wave. He started hearing about all these networking opportunities. Forget the traditional path. No, Duke saw this opportunity and he seized it. He knew he had to hone his skills on the pickleball court. He knew that if he got good enough, maybe he could finally get off the public courts and into the private exclusive clubs. Currently, he is playing with Merrill. They got this two-way thing going, and he's going to star in her next film. So it's working out for him. Well, I'll talk about my shit in the meantime.
no, I'm back. I'm back.
Oh, you're back. You're back.
I'm
All right,
back.
one more text and I'll take over. But roll.
Exactly. All right, strike two is done. Um, so this time doing the bus, our second time, we tried to take the notes in the time before, which were get there earlier. The farmers market ends at 1 o'clock, and we got there at 10 o'clock last time. Couldn't find a parking spot, set up by 11. This time we got there at 7:15 a.m. Got a parking spot, a great spot. Got set up, bro. This time was kind of a miss sales wise. Like, yeah, we're just doing our thing, and people just not stopping at the bus.
Before, were they stopping? Because I know you had a group of people who came out, but were there like randos stopping before?
Before, yeah, there's tons of randos stopping. So we're trying to figure out like if it was something with the presentation or
Yeah.
but granted, they were saying the whole market had like not great sales. It was really hot out, but it was really hot the time before too. I think it's just a rhythm thing. Sometimes, it just goes one way and other times it doesn't. But
You think it was your vibe? Maybe your vibe was off.
that's what Tanner is saying, but no, I don't think it was the vibe. I just think honestly, I was a little discouraged on doing that place as a market after that. So now we got into, I mean, granted, we made a couple good connections and stuff, but now we got into the Silver Lake Flea Market, and I'm kind of excited about that. I think we just do that instead. I'm
Cool.
assuming that's gonna be big. Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. And now we have this party coming up Friday. We have a ton of inventory now. We're working with that brand called Basic Space, which is like that online platform that's like Poshmark, but invite only. So you sell your own clothes online, and it's geared for really good designers and stuff. They have like Mad Happy and all these people on it, but
Yeah.
we were all excited for them to like promote us and stuff, and they kind of cooled off on us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yo, do you think the most important thing for a brand to get it launched is like Mad Happy is Bieber? Like, do you think it's
I don't think it is Bieber.
Mad Happy?
Yeah, I don't think it's run by him. He does, but it's similar, but he does like Drew, whatever.
Drew.
Yeah.
And Drew's got like the smiley face.
Yeah.
Do you think
Oh,
if you were to get someone like obviously, you've reached a certain level, but do you think if you were to also team up with someone who's like more of a face to rep?
I think, yeah, yeah, like that's how it goes viral, I guess, if you get a big enough celeb. But like we were talking to a guy that was there, and he was comparing us to these other brands that I thought were really, really good points. And he was like, well, there's some like basic stuff that I could help you guys kind of get organized. And I do sort of feel like we could be doing better with like some fundamentals. And I mean, if we made, it's just a question of, are we making the most of what we got? And I don't know if we are all the time. I think I'm doing a really solid job, but it's just a question of like, are we doing everything at this point? And then, yeah, the celebrity thing, like, we're so close to that, but you can't count. I don't think you need that necessarily to go big.
Yeah.
The girl from Licorice Pizza, Alana Haim, the actress.
Sisters. Yeah.
I reached out to her on Instagram, and she said, "Oh my gosh, wait, I'm obsessed with this." She responded and said that. And then I
Dude.
said, great. Well, blah, blah, blah. Like, we'd love to get you some stuff, everything. And then she never responded to that. And then a week later, I followed up and said, hey, just following up, anything? Didn't respond to that either.
Dude, the fuck. It's like so much of this stuff, man, is talk, It's like the worst thing that can happen is I mean, you've been in this game for long enough with acting and stuff. You got to kind of take stuff like you can't take anything at face value. You got to keep that optimism, you know?
Yeah.
Tell
Well, I
me,
mean, with her, I'm trying to figure out how now to make the most of it because I assume that she is into it, but she's just super busy and like probably doesn't get to all of her messages and stuff on Instagram.
right.
Um, or she looked at her stuff and on second thought was like, I'm not gonna like waste their time. I can't really do anything with this.
But also you know, you don't know. It's like a million
Yeah.
things could be happening.
I mean, I feel like there might I either hit her up again or find a way to like kind of get to her in a different avenue. Because I do feel like that person is like a perfect fit for us to do
It is.
something,
Yeah.
you know.
But I don't think hitting up another time on DMs is the move. There's definitely another way.
Third time on DMs.
Third time's the charm.
I mean, it could be. It might be a numbers game. Like,
Bro, number 10 DM.
well, like that type of person gets so many DMs that like it might just be that like you message them the day that they happen to be looking at their messages.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. I don't know.
Um, but it's funny. I was talking today as well to my brother's partner on his podcast. He's a life coach, and we had a session, a free hour-long consultation. And but I'm probably gonna figure out a way to start working with him because it was so beneficial. We talked about my like career and my we just analyzed like all the different avenues that I'm going about, and it was like so profound to like say it out loud, like, oh well, I'm thinking this about this, and this is kind of, do I feel like I'm going 100% in these areas, and what would it be like if I went in this direction or whatever, and what would it take for me to like put my soul into this thing,
Right.
and it was really really beneficial. I was just like, I feel like I almost needed to be doing this like every day.
What were some, dude, can you imagine how you 10x everything if you had like a life coach you could speak to every day?
Yeah,
That'd be
that's
I mean, I feel like dude, even us like once a week
yeah.
kind of talking about this stuff, it's really helpful. I think
It is.
because I do feel like you're not you specifically, but
Yeah,
everyone is their own worst enemy because you can put up your own like blocks, like, well, I shouldn't reach out to this person because of this. But like you saw with the Haim sister, or like uh wait, isn't I mean, dude, now like the whole Israel thing is happening. I mean, maybe you know what I mean? Like there's other stuff that she could be involved with or whatever. You never know. But
right.
I also, dude, I spoke to this agent at WME this week, and at the end of the conversation, she was like, "Oh yeah, like let's like I'll check out a script, you know." Um, but that's one of those things too. It feels very similar to the Haim type deal. I mean, I don't know yet. We're gonna see how it pans out. But what I've found throughout my time here is like get excited about those moments for sure, because you don't know which one of those are gonna pan out. But it's
Right.
almost like you almost have to protect yourself a little bit too. It's kind of like the best kind of energy that I found for myself is like always be persisting, always try to find every single avenue. But
Mhm.
if something starts to happen at the same time, don't bank everything on that. Don't be like, yo, this is the thing that will like make my entire life great. Like that's also never the case. Even if something pans out and it's like, okay, now I'm rep by WME, you're still gonna have like all this shit that you have to deal with, you know? You just get used to the new normal.
So true. I love that topic. I think something I've like currently pride myself on is like not being worried about making something a big deal. Like even if it hasn't happened, the fact that Alana Haim reached out, that was a huge moment for
It's
me. When I even saw her text back, I was like, this is someone that like I didn't know how I could get to her or any of that. And she's now talking with us. And someone who's like more into this stuff might think like, well, I jinxed it. I jinxed it. I celebrated too early. To me, I like being happy and having fun. And then that's just the risk you take when something doesn't go your way. I recognize that it's a high stakes game. So like that's fine. It's fine for stuff to
Yeah,
go wrong. And you don't have to figure out, you don't have to have the answers. But like you said, like just try to stay positive and don't, it's all gravy anyway. Like don't get too caught up. Everything that happens, it comes back to that thing of like, don't make anything too big of a deal.
exactly. Exactly. Because it's also never gonna be that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Never gonna give you what you think it's gonna give you. That's
Right.
the biggest illusion of it. You're like, oh man, when this happens, dude, I thought like my life would be made when I hit 1 million views with the
Yeah.
film. It was great, celebrate the moment, but like it wasn't life changing.
That's why like it's like a spiritual thing, not to get into philosophy and stuff, but
We crossed
like
here.
with all the stuff that we talk about, career and everything, it comes back to like no matter what happens, you still you don't even know if tomorrow is granted, you know, that you're given tomorrow, that you're gonna be healthy. And so it's more important to be appreciative of life, the gifts that we have, and
Yeah.
find happiness through like appreciation and celebrating the little wins and trying to be a good person um and then take the good and the bad in stride that comes with a career because it's really not as important as we make it out to be.
Right. I'm really bad at like getting like really wanting something and then when I get it like I get used to it so quick
Me
and then
too.
next thing.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone. Good. Like a big deal, and then I get it and I forget about it in 2 seconds.
Bro, it's the worst. It's the worst. That's like how feelings are. It's like you get bro, it's fucking crazy how that works, man. I
Even see
wish I could sit in the appreciation for like at least a few more minutes than being like, okay, like really wanting something. This is how it goes for me. I'm like, I really want something, really want something. And then I achieve it. And then I'm like happy about it for, you know, 15
well,
seconds.
a trick I kind of learned about, you probably instinctively know this already, but I think it's good to practice it like consciously, is the way that you gain appreciation for stuff too. It doesn't come naturally a lot of times. You literally have to like, you know, with articles of clothing I, you know, got at iconic moments in my life and everything where it was such a big deal for me to get that and stuff. I try to think about it from the perspective that I had then when I didn't have it and that I
Right.
got it. And
Right.
same thing with all things, like even appreciating your eyesight is like try to think from the perspective of someone that doesn't have it. And maybe they're still happy, but like, and you're given eyesight,
Yeah.
everything would be a gift.
Yeah.
Everything would be spectacular to look at. And so that's, you know, even being a skill, like that you're top filmmaker, look at yourself through the lens of like when you were starting out and didn't know anything.
Yeah, dude.
So it's all, I think that's a fun way to look. I heard on Howard Stern said to Matthew McConaughey, he's like, do you realize like how much of a power it is to be handsome like you are? Do you realize, and McConaughey's just like, yeah, you know, like I've always been lucky, like you know, it is, but, and he tried to change the subject, like trying to be humble, whatever, but Stern was like, no, I hope you know. I hope you know, like, don't just be humble. Like, it is a damn gift. You were
Right.
given this thing. Like, he's just like, because he's like, I don't have it, and that's okay. But like, you got it. I hope you enjoy it. And I heard that, and that's like a good example of like, I try to, you know, I'm not cocky, but I do appreciate that I've been like told that I'm an attractive human. I got a lot of qualities for myself.
Especially that you want to be an actor, it's so integral. As like shitty as it is, as great as it would be if like it was a even playing field and like everyone who wanted to be an actor or whatever like had the same shot. Yeah, you do have a massive advantage over someone who's butt ugly, you know?
Yeah. I try to think of myself of like, because everyone's always too close to themselves. There's days where you look at yourself and you're just like, I don't look as cool as I'd want to, or whatever, this or that. And I try to, in those moments, be like, well, what about from someone who's bald? Like, what would they think of like, or like, what about, someone who's got like scars and stuff, anything. And I
Bro,
look from that and just like, wow. Or what if like when I was sick, like, I was
yeah.
just sick like a month ago, and looking at myself through that lens, it's not just saying like, well, thank you that I'm, feeling good. It's like, think about it from the viewpoint of when you didn't have that thing.
This
And that
ticket,
can apply to anything.
bro, seared in my memory is when I was a kid and I went to this water park, and the ticket taker was this woman who was just covered in warts. It must have been some kind of like venereal thing or whatever, but like, bro, I like the fact that you want to be an actor, you want to do this thing, massive advantage. Also, kind of along the same lines, uh competition type stuff. What's weird about humans is like if everyone was given a green or like let's say everyone was given that shirt that you've got on right now, right?
Yeah.
And they were all handed it out and everyone was like, this is like the exclusive, Valley mentality shirt. And then like just you got to have the Valley mentality shirt with like this special like line across the front that like, it makes it like a better shirt for whatever reason. Then everyone who was so psyched about having that green shirt, now they're all looking at your shirt and they're like, well, like like that's how everyone feels about it. Like there's something about the human mind where it's like you're always comparing yourself against other people,
It
and there's
is.
certain like criterias and stuff. And it's just like yeah, I think everyone can work on like being more grateful for what they got,
I
including
think the natural nature, human nature, is to be shitty. And I think that you have to commit to sort of really strong ethics in order to be
but strong ethics. And also, bro, it's weird because we really haven't developed that much evolutionarily from when we were like cavemen and we had a small group, like a small tribe. And back in those days, if you were the one who had like 3 coconuts instead of one, then like you felt really good about yourself. Here's what we're working with. Like you want to be a successful and famous, and it's going to happen. But your goal is to be this like big actor. My goal is to be a successful and famous director and be like top of the line at what we do. But that's also on the world stage. And that's like the competition there. You're competing with millions of people who share like that same dream. And we're even competing with people like we're competing with the person who has never tried doing it, but has always been like, I want to be an actor. Like they're even thinking it in their mind and stuff. And it's just like we got to remember how competitive this thing is. And even if we have these certain expectations or whatever, like we thought we were going to be this place at this age and all that kind of stuff, just recognize that it is like the fact that we're even in it, the fact that we're at this level that we are now, we've already achieved this kind of success is an amazing thing.
Yeah, that's true. I saw someone the other day that I hadn't seen in a long time, and they're like not really doing anything. And they're an actor, and I was like, whoa, kind of reminded me of how far I've come, I guess, sadly. And I'm only saying this stuff like appreciation wise, not to
Yeah,
be
like I'm better than them or whatever.
not to like boast, but literally because I know, especially with me, the tendency is to not appreciate this stuff.
Yeah.
And that in the moment, it's kind of refreshing to feel a little self-righteous in that way.
Completely, bro. I went to school with like actors, everyone who wanted to be actors or wanted to be in the industry and stuff. And you see it, man. I mean, this amount of years removed from school, I know you see it. Beyond that one person you're talking about, there are people that you went to school with that like they phased out or they haven't, they've been on a few auditions, which again, not knocking on them, but it's like taking stock of just taking some pride in like you've gotten to this place that some people will never get to. Like the position that we're in right now, like right in this moment, the projects we're doing, like the stuff we're making. You were just on a Lifetime film. Like these are certain accolades and certain places that people who have that same dream are never going to reach. So there's something to be said for that.
It is very true, man. There's little things that stand out, like when I was like doing the theater school in New York and stuff, and I finished Bristol Vic, and I was psyched out, and my dad was like, "Come on, come on, like, like you might get into this thing and be like a real Hollywood actor." And that was the first time I had heard it said in that way, where it was like kind of felt like a big deal. Because it was like all the stuff that I was doing was like prestigious in one sense, but didn't really lead to like an actual career. And then my dad kind of put it in a way of like, no, come out, do it where it counts. And then you could do all that passion project stuff if you want to, but like get something under your belt, work on a freaking something with real production value, like with people whose jobs it is, like there's weight behind it. And I didn't believe that I could even do that stuff at that point for some reason. And then making my own, doing these movies and stuff, and being successful and doing what I want to do, then being confident and stuff has been such a, molehill to climb over.
Yeah. That's big.
Yeah, man, you got it. And then again, at the same time, at age 30, my expectations randomly lately have been just so high of
Did you
what
hit 30?
I turned 30 in March. Yeah, I've been 30.
And was that, I mean, that's like the cliche, like, oh, like you thought you were going to do this at 30. Did you feel that at all?
Um,
Because I'm a couple years from that.
yeah, I like to think that I genuinely feel like age is but a number, and that
It is, bro, and that is the truth. Because also,
all maturity, it's all where you're at.
and also humans created like time, like it's
Yeah.
kind of trippy to think about, but like 365 days, like the whole thing, you know what I mean? Like, what is 30 years old? It's like, we put this thing on like the fact that a decade. It's like when like 10 years is a decade. Like, why is that even a thing?
Right.
It's weird.
But that being said, and I've always tried to have the standpoint of like, in kind of a comforting way, I look at people that are 30 that act like they're 60, and then I look at other people that are 30 that, are just like super young still and stuff. But whereas I feel like I'm just doing what's right for me in some ways, I'm further along than some, and in some ways I'm not as far as others, and I have goals, and just like anything else in life, like you just compete against yourself and try to do the best that you can do, and try to have your blinders up. But yeah, 30 might have been like the first, I guess for a while we've talked about, I've been pretty big with timelines and things, and kind of like that movie Tick Tick Boom.
That's a great fucking movie.
Oh, cool. We talked about it already. Yeah. I know. Just how like he felt like he was racing against a clock to do what
Yeah, because he had a heart attack like right after he put up Rent. So thank God.
Yeah. Well, that's not me, but in the same sense that like, yeah, 30 definitely felt some like, oh shit, wait. You should have some milestones conquered by this point.
At the same time, when we're talking milestones, like,
but it wasn't with the age thing, I don't think. It was just kind of, honestly, it's because like some of my friends and everything are kind of making big moves and everything, and it's the human error. You're comparing yourself, and it's up to me to figure out how to stay grounded and stay strong-minded, and like not be a victim of and feel bad because I think I should be further in areas.
I would also wager that, like, I don't know your friends and I don't know their situation, but the majority of people who are like doing the proper milestones, having a certain salary, getting the house, get like anything that's kind of monetary, like wise, a lot of it is a facade. Like if you talk to these people, like I think there's a vast majority of people who ended up trading their dream or like whatever they were passionate about, what they wanted to pursue. They traded it in order to spend, like the 40, 50 hours a week, like doing this thing that
Yeah.
a certain lifestyle. And one thing is too, bro, and I firmly believe in this, which is like when it comes to dream stuff, that dream that you had at like 15, if you don't act on it at all and you're like 75, the dream is still there. Like you can push it down and you can bury it and you can like come up with excuses and you have a family and you're busy and all this bullshit. But like at that point at 75, it's basically too late. And at that point, that's when regret starts to set in. And so for me, it's like, and it's always an individual choice. And I don't knock anyone for living any way they live, but I just know for myself, it's like any like iota of regret is not fucking worth it, because the upside, I mean, the absolute dream is like getting to do your passion, getting to do what you love, and then getting paid for it and it affording you this incredible lifestyle. That's what we all want. But like, you're also never going to be able to have that shot if you don't give yourself that shot.
I know. Well, yeah, I've said what's important for me career-wise is to make good things, work with good people, and be a mover and a shaker, do big things. And then if you can get paid to do it when you're working
Also,
on these things.
speaking about moving and shaking shit, I want to touch on producing really quick, because something I've realized, like I'm starting to have a lot of fun with it, dude. It's fun. Producing is like having a bunch of like spinning plates of bullshit, and like you like hype up this one element of your project to one person and then you get their interest and then you can take that.
Wait, let me stop you. Are you pitching your feature film to people? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Not formally. It's not, I'm not yet at
Because
this.
producing has many different meanings.
Yeah. When it comes to actually producing to investors, like pitching to investors, that's going to be probably like November. As of now, I'm starting to gauge interest in terms of like the pieces of the puzzle. Is there an established DP that I could get interested, that I could get a letter of intent from? Is there a certain piece of talent? And so what I'm starting to realize is like,
that's what I thought.
Me
Siri got the mix.
Good for you. Good for you. I felt like, dude, I feel like now it's like it always starts with that spark of energy, where you're excited about a project that can then hype up someone else. And then when you get their interest, you can take that, oh, this person is interested, take it to a distributor or take it to talent or take it to DP. And it's like, and then you start to build up the project. And so to me, I'm starting to see it. It's starting to become clear where it's like, you're excited about something and then you just spin these plates of bullshit until it's no longer bullshit. And you actually have like a legitimate project that you can get greenlit.
What? All right, now let's get specific. So, who are you?
We can get specific. We can get specific.
What plates you spinning here?
I was able to talk to someone from distribution, and I was able to talk.
Who's
and
that?
I was able to talk to a DP. I'm not getting specific, and I know you hate this shit, and we have to be specific about this stuff. But I want things to be like a little more solidified. That's enough specifics to like at least paint the picture. But this is but in terms of project specifics, this is the project that I've been writing and working on for like the last 3 years. It's like the one script that I feel like is like really fucking good.
And you reached out to these people like just kind of for just really early stages, like picking their brain, or how do you?
Yeah. It starts with kind of the picking the brain type deal, and then we're shooting the proof of concept, like the short for this thing in November, and that'll just be another piece. And we're almost done the pitch deck, and we're starting to break down the budget and the schedule and stuff. So it's just pushing it down the line.
Love it. There you go. My dad, I had dinner with my dad tonight, and he made me read it in front of him the treatment that he has mapped out for 7 Days to Vegas 2. and basically he writes it like a book at first,
Yeah.
and we got to page 20, and so amusing.
He writes a book. You broke up a little. He writes the entire book before.
It's basically what he does is like it's an outline,
Yeah.
but it's it's like in book format. It's one of those outlines that's really detailed in each part.
Right.
That's how he writes it. I think Quentin Tarantino does that too.
Bro. That's a very Tarantino thing.
Right? And one of the scenes in particular already, he looks to Tarantino. He's always trying to do like, don't do what the audience thinks you're going to do.
Yeah.
Like rethink stuff 3, 4, or 5 different ways of what could be the most interesting thing that happens. And like, there's one con scene where there's like a bet that takes place, and seeing how it goes in a different direction than you thought it was going to go in, and it's funny and colorful and shocking and fresh, original. I was like this, I want to see this.
And bro, you're a starring role in it.
Yeah.
Do they know? I know he like secured funding, right? Like, is he
Kind of.
It's kind of, yeah. Okay. So you don't have like a date or anything yet. You're just keep trying to push it down the line.
Yeah. But he's really fired up.
It'll come together, bro. It's all about the energy behind it, And the first one was so fucking good.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I thought so too.
We did it again, brother.
We did.
I'll see you Friday.